So our last talk with today. It's another exciting one. Our next speaker is Tanesha Halstead. Tanesha Halstead is a business tech strategist, coach, and course creator. Simplifies administrative tasks for small business owners using tech solutions. With 15 years of experience in tech, including 4 years refining systems for client retention and team productivity. Her talk today is crafting compelling content, strategies for engaging your audience on WordPress. Give a very warm welcome to Tanesha Halstead.
Hi, everyone. How are we? I know it's like the end of the day, but I love energy. I like engagement. So if you could just bear with me, we got a little bit longer. And so I would like to start off by thanking WordCamp Montclair for inviting me to speak today. As Caleb said, we're going to be going through crafting some compelling content strategies for helping you boost engagement on your WordPress site. Okay, just a little bit about me. It's like, why listen to her? So I have about 15 plus years in the business and tech industry. I'm a single mom of 2 teenage boys. I like to include a little fun fact here, and I'm humanizing it by saying, don't judge me. I like a little variation of 90 Day Fiance. We all like to let our hair down and have a little fun sometimes. And so I also like to always set the tone by letting you know who this workshop is for. So the workshop is more for WordPress beginners, maybe those that are already making content, but you're looking for some strategy to maybe take it a notch up. Maybe you're a blogger or a marketer, or you could just be a business owner that is managing the WordPress site for small businesses. And so on this slide, I'm just giving you a quick overview. I'm not going to run through reading it. You can look at it here on the screen. But these are the topics that we'll talk about today. And you'll see a fancy little QR code here. It's actually for submitting feedback for today's presentation. There is a nice little prize for those that fill it out. So if you go ahead, you can scan the QR code. I'm looking out in this audience. Where are your phones? And so that'll, you can give your feedback for today's presentation. And it'll be on another slide if you don't catch it now, actually. All right, so I always like to start off by addressing the elephant in the room. And it's always this question of why social media, why content, why does it, or why should it matter? And a part of that is, I'd like to share this gif that we are walking around day to day. We're all connected in some way, some shape or form, maybe even by some social platform. So this is just an illustration or a visualization of why it's important for us to put our content out there. And so when we put our content out there, it not only allows us to be connected, but there's also strategy behind it. We're here for a WordPress conference, and a part of that is bringing traffic to your website. A part of that may be then converting that traffic to customers or clients for whatever your business may be. And a part of that is having that compelling content for people to actually want to come to your site and to stay there. And so I like to tell the story of when I first started our business and we got on the social sites and also building our own website. I felt like we had what I call this juggle going on. And it's watch me juggle. It's I'm going to write the blogs, I'm going to do the videos, I'm going to do all the text around. But that's not how we have a good result. We have to have some strategy behind it. And so with that in mind, we came up with this, basically a social media roadmap. And it gets you a starting point and touches on different things to be able to help you builds really the strategy that you're looking for. So I like to say we start with setting goals. And your goal could be that you're looking to increase your website traffic, or your goal could be that you're looking to, maybe you're a new business and you're looking to start brand awareness, letting people know you've like opened your virtual store or you opened your physical brick and mortar. And so we set those goals. Then we get to know our audience. We can't create content when we don't know who we're talking to, or else we're talking to everybody, and that's like talking to the masses, and we're not hitting anyone at that point. And so we'll go through a little deeper these portions of the roadmap throughout the presentation, but I just wanted to give you kind of a heads up of what we'll be going through. And so we'll also talk about planning content and ways to do that, and who would I be if we didn't talk about some tech tools and how we can simplify that creation process as well. And I'm a little bit of a data nerd, so we got to monitor and we got to adjust and we got to like use some metrics to make sure we're not just creating content to create content. Do I still have you with me? Are you with me, everyone? How we doing? Okay, good. All right, so we'll start off by sharing some tools for content planning. So you can use any fancy word you want to use. Some people say ideation, some people say I'm brainstorming. So I like to start here because a lot of what I hear from business owners is that they don't know what to talk about. And so if you're a business owner, you have a passion, something got you there, you have something to talk about, you're just probably not sure how to formulate that. So there's tools for that. So I'm sharing a few here on the screen. Again, I'm a little bit of a data nerd, and so one of them that I really love is Answer the Public, and it's based off of actual data. And has anyone heard of this site?
Yep.
Have you used it before?
Yeah, I've used it to get ideas for LinkedIn posts.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so that's exactly, so say your topic is, actually, what is your topic?
I'm an online marketer.
Okay. Okay, so if he's an online marketer, so say he has a specific keyword or overarching topic that he's looking for. The way this works is that you go into the site, that if you're on the free version, it allows you like 1 or 2, I think it's like 3 searches for the day, and you're able to put that topic in, and then now it'll populate different content ideas, whether it's like who, what, where, when, why, and then it'll grade it for you. It'll say kind of like what's more of the thing that's being searched by your particular audience. And so this is a great way for you to not start with the white page, but be able to, move past the white page and determine what is more relevant for you to talk about to your audience. And so another tool that I like to share is we talk about keywords. So there's actually the Google Keyword Planner, and then there's SEMrush. I also like to set up like Google Trends for different topics within our business because it helps us to stay abreast, because let's face it, we're humans, we have 50 million things going on, we can't check every place all the time. I love that it centralizes the information and it comes straight to my email. Another tool I'll share for those who may be struggling with things to say or maybe keywords for your site is SparkToro. It's another data-driven statistics site that I actually really, really love this one because it gets real nitty-gritty. It'll talk about keywords. It'll also talk about the places where your audience might be listening to podcasts, maybe the different type of publications they're reading. And just allows you to target your audience a little bit more. Again, I am a little bit of a data nerd, so I love it. It can be a little overwhelming to get into all the data, but pick a tool. I'm always like, the best tool is the one you'll actually use. So pick one that's not as hard for you to adapt, and start there, and then you can build on there. Okay, so after we've set our goal, we've decided whether we're looking for website traffic, brand awareness, maybe different engagement, then we want to start planning the topics. We want to do some content planning. Now, again, some people, they hear content calendar or those type of words, and they're like cringing. I don't want you to cringe. If you want to call it the magic board or whatever you want to call it, just call it something that feels just feels warm to you, because at the same time, I love to say marketing equals money. And if we're not telling people about our business, how can we expect to get traffic, business, and all those things? And so now that we've gotten our ideas, let's plan it out. And so I would like you to take it simple on this too, because some people dive in and they're like, I want to plan the whole month. I'm going to have all my captions lined up. I'm going to have all my blogs written and stuff like that. But it's a muscle you're building. And so some of the tools that are used for content calendars are like project management tools like Trello, Asana. We actually use ClickUp and Airtable. And I'll actually show you on our next slide. And so for content planning internally, we actually use an Airtable base that I designed, and it is pretty much our hub. I actually put a QR code here. We have a video on YouTube that shows how we utilize this internally. We also manage social media for clients, so we use this pretty much as a rubric with working with our clients. So it creates a central hub for us to, I don't like looking all over the place for things. One, I think it wastes my time, and two, it's just inefficient. And so we have a tab that has all our branding details, has all the necessary links that we'll need, pretty much like an info tab for our business, and we add on as needed. And then we have the actual calendar where we build out the content. I won't go deep diving into that today. That's why I shared the video. If you'd like to see it, you can check it out. And it'll walk you through what we do on each tab and how we utilize it to plan and create the content that we just got from the ideation phase. Okay? How we doing? Good? We're going good? Okay. All right. So one thing I wanted to actually share too is about mastering writing techniques. And so sometimes, and I've gone through this too, I call it word vomiting, where we are writing something and we want to throw everything in there. But I put a couple of do's and don'ts on here just as a rubric as some of you might be getting started, some of you might be doing it already, but just some helpful things to think about when you're writing your content, whether it be for your blogs, any of your social platforms, or even for your website. I'm very big on creating an experience, and so you want to think about the viewer or your audience that is coming to your particular content. And with this writing technique section, I wanted to also share, so I'm actually working with a video coach right now, and something we've noticed is that if you look online, a lot of people tend to look the same. Everyone's kind of following the same, like maybe I call them the gurus and the girlies, and everyone's losing their personal touch. There's also AI, let's not forget about that. So one of the things that I think is important when you're writing these blogs, websites, and things like that, think of your story. Think of the reason why you started your business. Think of what makes you so special in what you're providing. Why are people coming to see you? Is it your personality? Is it maybe you have a fashion flair and they're like, really into it? That might not be your business, but that's something relatable for your audience to be able to be like, oh, I could relate with her or him. And that will bring them to you to see you as attraction. They see what you got, and now you can convert them a little bit easier because they're learning you and getting to know. And some of you might be more of B2B, and that's still relevant because at the same time you're working with people. And so I think sometimes we forget to humanize it. All right, so another thing that I wanted to talk about as we talk about writing is creating compelling headlines. And so with headlines, again, we're thinking of our audience. We're thinking, what is something that is clear, concise, just powerful to them. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. And sometimes I think we forget to even, we don't have the resources of a major company where they have a whole like marketing and research team. But even as a smaller business, you're able to poll your audience. I think sometimes we forget that we're in a place of service as far as business, and being able to know who we're serving helps us to craft things like compelling headlines that will make people say, oh my goodness, I need to go read that, or I need to do something with that. Okay, all right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was enhancing your website with visuals. I put a few examples up here just to show you the illustration of how the vibrant colors and possibly, you know, if this is more of personal branding, how the images just kind of speak more to your words. And so if you're writing blogs or even on your website, be mindful that you have some color, some pop, some personality that shows the business off in a spectacular way. And so I just showed that because I don't know if you, can you see it from the visual that it's just, it's speaking. Does it speak to you? Does anybody, do you feel that way? I like the yellow one. Oh. Yeah, because I think sometimes we just, even if you're writing blogs, yes, there's a certain word character and things like that, but the visual piece to me adds the break, and it adds some representation to bring your words to life. And so one of the ways we actually do that as a business is we're into video. And so the other part of visuals is it's not just the standstill photos or the professional photos, it's also video is on a rise. There's many platforms now that are mimicking each other. I know back then, like even on LinkedIn, it was more like buttoned up and, you know, really tight, and you might see like one or two professional videos, but now you're seeing people get on there, you're seeing people speak, you're seeing people illustrate themselves in a different way. So consider, even on your website, people like to watch videos. And so when you're creating your WordPress site, including things like video, and it doesn't have to be a professional-based video. I was listening to a podcast last week, and there was a, so it's a podcast called Brave on Video, and the gentleman that was speaking was talking about his content creation process and how he literally takes his phone and records, like, you know, screen records like that, and it's not heavy editing. And I was like, wow, what a savvy way to do it. And it eliminates the fear we all have of getting started because it doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look like the, you know, the gurus and the girlies, like I say. And so we actually, especially too, if you're a speaker and things like that, you're setting your own stage. And so just be mindful too when you're doing your WordPress site that, again, you're creating an experience. And so you want people to have different facets of whatever your business is doing. All right, so with visual content, I know that it can be overwhelming. Some people feel that it's multi-step and they're like, oh, I don't have time to learn all these things, but there's tools. And so Canva and Adobe Spark are two that are pretty user-friendly for image design, and now they're, you know, they've gotten so fancy now, all these AI features, video and stuff like that. So those are a good start. Now with Lumen 5, we actually tested this out for those that write blogs. For those that write blogs. But say you started with a video, and being able to take your video and put it into this tool to then help it go into a blog. And I'm sure by now they've done so many updates, and it was just the fact of how it made it, it gave it a little bit of a professional edge for those who might not want to go hire an editor. So I think it's just sometimes getting savvy or kind of bootstrapping our tools when we're not able to maybe do things on a larger scale. And let me know if I'm going too fast, because I feel like I'm sorry, go ahead. So what we did was we had a blog and was able to convert it into a video form. And so it was a little different because if you look at a bigger company, and sometimes they'll have like those nice promo videos where it's kind of like just a little bit of talking and maybe they'll run the words over it and stuff like that. To me, it kind of gave like I'm a big business feel. But it was pretty easy to go ahead and go from video or text to video using that tool. All right. So I know I mentioned this earlier, and I'm a little bit of a data nerd. And for me, I feel like metrics allow us to understand where we started, where we're going, what we need to scrap, maybe what we need to keep doing. And so for me, sorry, I'm gonna go back one. So for me, I like to measure my success. And sometimes the math isn't mathing. And we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what we're doing. But how do we know that when we don't have any metrics? So in thinking about today's presentation, if you're thinking about your WordPress site, it could be the fact of maybe you're looking for increase of traffic. Maybe you're looking for more conversion. Maybe you're looking for people, maybe you're writing blogs and you're trying to make sure that people are actually reading your blogs or they're seeing what they're clicking on. So the reason for this is we just want to make sure we're not, I say this in like every presentation, I don't like to create content just to create content. The content is serving a purpose. And so we don't want to get into the rat race of just putting something out there because we want to put content out. So keep in mind those things. I know that you said that you actually write blogs. Is that correct?
I write LinkedIn posts.
Yeah, and is anyone else in here creating content? Okay, so I like to get a little bit engaged. So I know we're not at Q&A, but is that okay? Oh, okay. So what type of content, I'd like to get an idea of like what type of content you're creating currently for your WordPress site. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a WordPress site, but I do write for LinkedIn.
Okay.
He's making my website.
Okay.
That's why I'm here today. And I would like to go into more longer posts because LinkedIn just doesn't, I talk a lot, and interestingly enough, I wanted to shorten my content, but the people on LinkedIn were like, no, like, I like that you talk a lot, I like your longer form content.
Yeah.
I wish it was longer.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of wanted to get a website going so I could actually write longer blog posts.
Okay.
Start a newsletter. I write about personal branding, social media marketing. Yeah. My
Okay.
brand is House. Clearly.
Oh, okay. Got it. And you are your brand. I can see it.
Power of LinkedIn, like that's my headline.
Oh,
So
wow.
I go out.
Okay.
I'm Power Brand.
I love it. Okay. That is personal branding. You are the brand. And so I love that you said that you're writing long form content and that you've tried and proven a source. And now see, that's metrics. And now you've measured your success there. I'm sorry, I'm like all out of turn here, okay? But I like to be engaged with the audience.
That's fine.
And so for me, when I'm listening to you, again, we're talking about measuring your success. You've measured your success on LinkedIn, and now you're looking to expand.
Yeah.
And so with that, taking that to your website, now you're able to look back at your numbers, see maybe what was doing better for you, and then be able to transfer that to your website. So is the idea for you then to transfer those into blogs to your site, or are you looking to do video as well?
I used to do, oh my God, this is loud. I used to do video. That's kind of how I started. I never thought I was going to end up writing. I got on LinkedIn just for fun, literally.
Uh-huh.
And I also wanted to look for a job, and then I saw everyone posting. And I was like, well, I have a lot to say about personal branding. I have a lot to say about my experience as a content creator. Video content kind of drained me a lot. So I was like, writing doesn't. I can write all day, every day. So I kind of realized, okay, maybe written content is more of my jam.
Okay.
So I'm kind of going with that.
Okay.
And then I also have services for branding, services for social media management.
Okay.
So I do still have to do videos for my clients, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. It's not like I have to get in front of a camera. It's more
Yeah.
editing. So I
Yeah.
found that a little bit easier. And then Canva also has been amazing for the video
Good.
content. Yeah, because they have videos on there. So
Yeah.
you don't even need to. I didn't know about Lumen 5, but I'm definitely going to check it out.
For you, you may want to check that out because, so another type of content is faceless video. So you don't necessarily need to place yourself if you are not comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, I would love to see you in front of the camera, but you don't have to do that. So tools like Lumen 5 will allow you to take your words and convert it to a video. And you can still brand it. So, you know, of course, it's probably on the paid version where you're able to change colors, you can change text and make it personalized to your brand. So I would encourage you to check that out. But I loved hearing your story, and congratulations for measuring your success and being able now to transform that and impact even more. I will say that I love the combo of LinkedIn articles. So we've tested before writing LinkedIn articles, but then also putting them on like the full blog on WordPress. And what I did like is that they're both searchable. And so I wouldn't say necessarily give up the LinkedIn piece that you're writing, but think of a strategy that doesn't overwhelm you. Again, going back to strategy and your goal, that allows you to incorporate the two, because now you're even increasing your ranking because you're coming up on LinkedIn. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes LinkedIn will come up more than our actual website articles.
That's my issue, why I made him change the, I don't know if this is working, but it's the reason why I made him do my website, because essentially my LinkedIn will come up and my previous Canva website would
Yeah.
never come up.
Yeah.
That's because if you can't do SEO on the
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, can you just make my website?
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Did anybody else want to share? I love to like know who I'm talking to, so. Did anybody else want to share, or we can save it for Q&A if that's okay. All right, perfect. All right, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be in the classroom setting, so we're going to leave this, I'm going to leave this up because I love replay watchers. We do go live and stuff like that too, and I talk not only to those in person, but those on the replays, we love them as well. And so if you are on your own, and this is a cute little exercise where you could practice your content creation. And so it's going about thinking from the ideation phase or just the brainstorming phase to thinking of an actual compelling headline, and then being able to use the tips and tools that we talked about to be able to actually execute on that. And the little tidbit to that too is I'll say, and someone's taking a picture, but I always say time yourself, because guess what we do? If there's infinite time, we take forever. And so, So just make sure that you put a little timer on, and just, even if it's longer than 5 minutes, just put a little timer on, because what happens is, especially when you're brainstorming and you're thinking of ideas, it can keep going, and going and going. Or maybe I'm just talking about myself, but it's okay. All right, and so we are actually at Q&A. And so does anybody have any questions? I know I kind of went through things a little bit fast. Did anybody have any questions? No? None? Do I need to go back through the presentation? Like, I think I need to go back. Because there's no questions? Not even about the tools? Okay. I don't know if you need to have the mic. They were like... And if you could tell me your name, your business. I don't think it's on. Yeah.
Testing. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
My name's Rachel Winchester. Most people call me Win. I make web page presentations. So I'm a public speaker and a web designer.
Love it.
My question was, it seems like a lot of businesses are trying to choose between a social media platform and a website. So, like I always say both, like you've been saying. So I'm curious, do you have, aside from LinkedIn, is there like an awesome platform that you think like pairs well with a WordPress site, or like if you, like what if they could only pay attention to two, their WordPress site and one platform, what would be like the best one?
Now, I feel like that's a personal question for the business because, and it's so interesting. Usually I have this slide in here that will show the different platforms and it'll show the reason that you should be engaging on them. Like, so say for instance, you're maybe a local business and you might be able to just focus on Google My Business and your WordPress site because what are people doing? Vegan restaurant near me, you know. So, or if you are maybe a business that's more visual, you might want to choose something like Instagram because that's what's captivating, the vibrant images people are scrolling through. Maybe if you're somebody that's service-based, like yourself doing websites and stuff like that, you may want to get into video. YouTube might be your thing, where you're showing people like the ins and outs, the how-tos, why they should have certain plugins and stuff like that. Again, it doesn't have to be your face, because I know some people are not very comfortable with that. But guess what? That's a screen record. That's using something like Loom. You don't even got to get professional. Use something like Loom. Record your screen and show your expertise. The goal, or what I want everyone to kind of take away, is that it's not about the platform. It's about you just doing the thing. Share what you're doing because that's how we get to know about you. That's how we get to learn about your business. I hope that answered the question because I know it wasn't like, oh, just pick Instagram. Do we have any other questions?
What were the 4 tools? You had Canva, Loom, what were the other 2?
Yeah, sure, I could go back. So you did need me to go back through the presentation. Okay. Yeah, so, you know, Canva's a really good, I know. The professional graphic designers, they're gonna come for me, but it's okay. It's okay. So, because to me, I'm about simplicity and what is gonna have the least bit of resistance. And for someone that's not a professional designer, it creates that for them. It eliminates a roadblock for them to say, well, I can't. Even if you're not designing it on your own, there's 50 million templates in there. So I get it.
So what is that?
Oh, that's Adobe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you should check it. Yeah.
Stock images or what is it?
Well, I wouldn't say it's as friendly as Canva, but it's for design as well. The only reason I know about it is because our graphic designer is on the team. Yeah, so that's another tool as well that can help. Again, sometimes we might not know of it, but somebody in our resource hub, which I hope everyone's in some type. I know you're in the WordPress communities, but there's other content communities as well where they share different tools and tips. We didn't even get into AI today because that's not what we're here for, but so these will help. The reason why I showed these in particular, because when we're thinking about the WordPress site, it's image, it's the text, and sometimes, as this young lady was saying, she's writing blogs, but she's not really big on getting on video. It eliminates this fear or her not having any video because now she can use this tool to turn her text into a video. And still make it on brand because there's features on there where she can upload her brand colors, put some stock video in there to maybe match a different part of what you're writing about. And it eliminates, again, you from not having any video on your site, which, depending on your business, it's more personal. Do we have any other questions? Oh, yeah. And then we have another question. So you get, oh, you're going to bring it to her? Okay.
So, I am a professional designer, so I'm not going to dump on you for Canva. Adobe
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Adobe has a huge learning curve, and the subscription's probably around $800 a year, so that's out for a lot of people. But I would say recommend. I've seen people without those tools use PowerPoint.
Really?
You can export it as PDF. You can export it as JPEG. So you can actually make your colors. They have a lot of design ideas already, so you can get up and running really quick. So I actually give that to our interns, making some social posts.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to give them a subscription. They can get up and running really quickly.
Was it this one? Thank you for sharing that. And so that goes back to what I was saying, like we may not know of something. Again, I did not know of all those. I'm in communities that it's not just geared toward one set, like just like I was saying how I'm in a video community as well now. So it's just depending on your goal. And our goal was to include more video content because we're a service-based business, so it was like showcasing what we do. And then also, now we want to add a component where ours is based around customer experience. And so it's so interesting to be here speaking about WordPress because we're actually redesigning our site. And a part of what I was more concerned about is, yeah, we want all the back-end stuff to, connect and do all the things, but I want whoever lands on our site to have an experience. As I said kind of an example of it is like, when we go out for the first time, we got to dance a little, you got to smooze me. Like, we're not just going to get married. So, I think of our site like that. So people coming, they might not be ready to open up their wallets yet. But we have other ways for them to engage with our content, come into our ecosphere, and be a part of our community. Which was the slide that you wanted to go back to? It was this one? Okay. Okay. And I think I saw a hand back there.
I was just going to say, Canva actually bought a company called Affinity.
Wait, say that again? Oh, I think they're going to get you a mic.
Actually, everybody can walk up.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I was going to say, Canva just acquired a company called Affinity, who have higher-end visual tools that were competing directly with Adobe.
Really?
So it was about 2 months ago, and they still have a designer. They have basically a Photoshop competitor, publisher thing that Adobe do. Was it in something rather?
Is that why they had that big rollout where?
It's basically 3 sets of tools that this company developed that were going head to head with Adobe.
Yeah.
And it's a desktop tool, it's not a web tool.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so I was away traveling, and I was like, what is all this stuff? I saw everybody running to Canva because they had a big rollout recently. I'm wondering if that's tied into...
I'm not sure if it's that, but it was announced, I think, about 2 months ago.
Oh,
It's
okay.
something that was originally developed on... It's a carve-out from a company called Serif,
Okay.
a UK company.
I'm going to have to look it up. Thank you for
Serif
sharing.
Publisher years ago. So they've been
Wow.
around a long, long time.
So what you're trying to say is that the Adobe
Canva,
people that might come for me, Canva is going to compete with them. Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I was just checking. All right. Thank you for sharing that, though. I really appreciate it. Does anybody else have a question, comment? Need me to go back to a slide? Okay. So, if there are no other questions, comments, I will keep it going, but I'm pretty much at the end. Okay. So we did question and answers. And so I just always like to recap. And so today I'm hoping that you're taking away some actionable insights, just really things that will help you move the needle. Maybe some resource, maybe even walking away with a tool or a resource that you could try. I always say the best tool is the one you'll actually use. Don't be scared of them. Just pick one. Most of them have free versions. Try it out for free. Don't tell them I told you this, but sometimes, you know, maybe you might try it out for a month and then get what you need, and then that might be it. But nonetheless, I'm hoping that you've taken something away from today and are able to take action, because that's what we're here for. And so I always like to finish the presentations with this little GIF here, because I want you to remember that we are all fumbling and stumbling through content, but the way that we do that is through building a muscle and taking action and testing. It's a constant test. And so until we test, measure, learn how, learn what is working, what's not, what can we improve, then that's the best win that we could take away. So thank you again for having me today. I don't know why this isn't working. And so again, I'd just like to say thank you for having me. I am hoping that you were able to take away some action today. Thank you for the engagement. I appreciate it, y'all. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.